Okay. Sorry about that. We weren't in the right chat. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Can you guys hear us now? Okay. Thank you, Muhammad, for pointing that out. We weren't in the right chat. So for this setup, it's fucked up. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. So, yeah. So what's going on, everybody, is thank you for coming in. We're going live because, and I got to send this out. We're going live because Sarah Bond is the hot topic subject matter today, and we weren't even planning on going live, right? But I got like this crazy notification on Twitter because J-Dub tagged me in something. I saw what he tagged me in, and I'm like, hold on. You guys weren't aware of this? That's because you guys don't watch MM2K Gaming, where we know what we're talking about, and we are leagues ahead of being able to predict and tell you where certain entities are going to go with this game and shit. We do it all the fucking time here. If it's not me, it's Cold Blood. If it's not Cold Blood, it's me. We do it all the time here. So what I want to do is go over this story about Sarah Bond, the whole "this is an Xbox" campaign. Give you our thoughts in regards to, is this is she being scapegoated? And then last but not least, just tell you what the likely end result of this is for Xbox, right? Because you guys be so dumbfounded and you guys just argue in the moment. You don't pay attention to shit like we do over here. We're gonna help you out today. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience as we're still trying to get stuff together here. Let me do this. Let me tag my brothers. Let everybody know that we're live, and do us a huge favor. Share this out too. Let everybody know that we're live. Y'all need to hear this. This is why you all should be coming here to MM2K Gaming to hear me and Cold Blood break down the latest and greatest in gaming. All right, what the hell? Okay. Now, we weren't even supposed to be going live. What I was going to do was I was going to put out a video today talking about Xbox and how they bamboozle people in a specific area. And I was in the interim, we had a special stream over there. I had to fix some things. I had to take it down temporarily and fix some things. But I'll be putting it back up. But we had a special stream for members, right? And in that special stream for members, I'm sitting there helping my brother with his capture card. And then I noticed that I'm getting tagged again by this tweet from J-Dub. Part of it is what you see above. And here, let me do this. I will take you guys to the beginning of the tweet so you see everything. Just give me a few moments. I'm just trying to send out notifications everywhere to let everybody know that we are live. And hopefully you guys do the same thing, because like I just said, you guys need MM2K Gaming in your lives. Y'all really do. All right, so let me go back. Here's the tweet from J-Dub. And shout out to Juice for gifting a member. We appreciate it. The tweet said, as I said, the moment Sarah Bond was promoted, the Xbox community was going to find a way to blame her for Xbox's demise and exonerate Phil for his 15 years of failure. Like clockwork, shake my effing head. And then he tagged me, in it. And so here's the thing. This first came out from Hazardor Gaming. This is according to Tom Warren's notepad. Microsoft Sarah Bond has staked her professional reputation on the idea of being everywhere across multiple platforms and devices, keen on spreading the Xbox everywhere message. That's in quotes. So that says to me that somebody went to Tom and said, look, we want to make you aware of why this message is being spread and who was behind spreading it. And that's why the article reads as it does when you see it. And we got an excerpt of the article. We will be showing it to you shortly. Matter of fact, let me pull that up right now. Let me get that. Yeah, let me get that going right now. We can talk about that because I was able to, take a little snippet of that, but we'll show you that in a little bit. Then it says Microsoft and Google are fighting over the future of Xbox. This particular argument is a key one for Microsoft as it doubles down on this is an Xbox and bringing Xbox everywhere. This week's notepad is live now for Verge subscribers. So they talk about it in what's it called? I'm going to get to this response right now. And this response at the bottom in a little bit. But here's what I want to say. For those of you that don't understand where I'm coming from with this is, just for all transparency, I don't agree with the Xbox lawsuit from what I understand. From what I understand, and if any of these parameters are wrong, then that might change my mind. From what I understand, Google is not telling Microsoft we don't have they're not telling them you can't put a store on Android, which, they have the proprietary ownership of. They're not saying that. They're just simply saying you cannot put a store in our mall, sell shit in that mall, and we don't get a cut. You can't do that. I agree with that. Here's why I agree with that. I gave the scenario last time. You, on the other end of this mic, you created a successful store that ends up becoming a mall. You put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in it. And you said to the community, look, now we have a mall here, but this mall ain't cheap to secure. We got to pay electricity. We got to pay security. I'll take care of that shit. But you mofos got to pay me a lease or whatever it is in order for us to maintain this mall, in order for the security to make sure that people ain't running scams, they're not putting in faulty APKs, all that shit. We will take care of that. Or in the mall, what's it called scenario, to make sure that people ain't just running and breaking and stealing shit. We're going to take care of the security of the mall. So you can be safe and you can barter safely and your customers can be safe. But this shit costs money. So you got to kick up a fee or something like that. And the fee is for everything that you sell, we want 30% of it. That's our fee. And what this court case has done is said, no, we don't give a fuck what you built. We don't care about what's needed to sustain it. We want to be able to sell shit based off of the security and the infrastructure you created, because selling something on your own Android app is different, or your own Android store is different from selling it in Google Play. It's not the same thing. It's not just about marketing. There's security and other parameters that Google invests in to make Google Play a safe place for Android, which is normally an open, platform. But within this open platform, Google built them all. Microsoft is saying, we, the number 2 richest company in the world, we have more money than you. But we're not going to use our money to build our own secure infrastructure. We're going to take advantage of yours, and we're not giving you shit. And you got to deal with it. And the court said, okay. Now, that's how I understand the fact that Google is what the Google restrictions were, what they were asking for, what Microsoft wants to be able to do in return. If that is an accurate description of affairs, that's fucking ludicrous to me. I I cannot vouch for that. I don't give a fuck about, oh, well, everybody goes to the Google Play Store. Yes, Google built it that way. Android is an open system, which means a lot of shady shit can happen there. If you want security, look, you can take advantage of our security or you can build it on your own. That's like if you build a mall in a tough neighborhood, a high crime neighborhood, but there's security all over the place. I can't just walk into that mall, set up shop, start selling TVs and not pay any rent. That would never be allowed. But see how what these corporate conglomerates can do? Microsoft, who makes more money than Google, can sit there and say, even though we have more money, we ain't gonna take our money and try to do something similar in this open space. Nah, we're just gonna do it the cheap way, and we're not giving you shit. We're gonna take advantage of what you built. We're not giving you shit. I can't rock out with that if that's the scenario. So just so there's full transparency on what I feel about this, opposed to how it's being told to you, it's not just about marketing. Google built something on an open platform where a lot of shady shit can happen. Android is super open. That's the way that it was made. But to make sure there was a super secure block for people to sell stuff and consumers to feel safe about the shit they're consuming, they built the Google Play Store. Now, Microsoft, the owners of fucking Windows, you're trying to tell me that they can't sit there and say on all the copies of Windows 10, Windows 11, whatever it is, on all the copies of Excel, look, you want to be able to enjoy our stuff on the go? Check out our Windows, check out our Google Store, the Windows App Store on Google. They can't do that. They don't already have a powerhouse installed to where they can take full advantage of it and don't need Google. No, they just don't. They want to do it on the cheap. They want to just move on in, take space in the mall and not pay shit. And I don't know who does the litigation for Google. Google's just getting slapped around, pimp slapped all over the place. I think it's time for new leadership over there. Just on so many levels. The organization is horrible. They have great employees. The employees are trying their fucking hardest. It's not the employees. It's not even a lot of the VPs. It's that top of the line leadership that just is not the board and the leadership. They need to fucking go. They're horrific. They are horrific. They're literally driving the company to the ground. And I don't know who does their litigation or who's in charge. They need to be fired. Google is horrible at this shit. They can't punch themselves out of a wet paper bag right now. That being said, that's my opinion on the whole ordeal, as I understand it. But with that said, what Tom Warren is alluded to and what he spoke of before is he was saying, look, Google now, because they're in this battle with Microsoft, Microsoft is now taking the position of, well, look, to help us in this case, let's just make Xbox everything. And what it sounds like to me, because what Hazardor had in this excerpt in quotes, keen on spreading Xbox everywhere message, that's telling me that someone approached Tom Warren and they are like, look, this isn't so, and someone's approached Tom Warren and said, look, we want to let you know we're not behind, or everybody's not, there's a specific entity that is behind this. We just want to let you know if this shit doesn't work, it's on them. So all this hate and anger that a lot of you guys have, that person is doing it, and they're doing it for their own reasons that they feel like will benefit the company. That's on them. This doesn't, to me, it doesn't sound like or feel like, Cold Blood, that it's somebody that is pro this message. So I want to put that out there too. Now you guys say, oh, you're crazy. You're making up shit. I'm going to show you why we're not crazy here. And y'all keep trying to deny what we're telling you to your own dismay. Because we just sit back, wait for the shit to happen, and just go, we told you so, and we move on to the next thing. And those that follow the content, that support the platform, that take hold of the education that they get here, they become better consumers for themselves because of it. But this person, OP Gotta, says, so it was Sarah Bond who killed Xbox, not Phil Spencer. Wow. And people call him a liar. Makes sense. She was brought in to help Game Pass subscription sales. Phil must have fought hard back since he had no change his message every other month. Now we're in game. Can't believe Sarah's destroying the Xbox brand and console. I would say, and I'm going to argue, that 70% of this message is right. 70% of it is right. But it's that 30% that's wrong that we need to focus on. I'll get back to that in a little bit. And then we got, I mean, there is a shift to blame Sarah for Xbox failures. And again, people, we owe Phil an apology. You fucking sorry saps, right? Now, we tried to warn y'all who was behind this campaign. We tried to tell you. We tried to warn y'all who was behind this campaign. You did? Yes, we did. I'm going to shut off the music and I'm going to play this. Oh, I said, we told y'all weeks ago, this campaign came from her. So for all of y'all that want to sit there and say, MM2K, y'all are making shit up. We told y'all weeks ago, this came from her. Oh, no. I said, who told y'all weeks ago this campaign came from her? Let me give you a hint. We did. Let's roll that beautiful fucking bean footage.
Like, bruh, it's not in box, it's a fucking transformer now. Like, it can be anything. Yeah. What the fuck is this, bro? Why not say Xbox is more than just a box? Okay, maybe, but
yeah.
Goddamn, they go out of their way and say this is a bento box, this is a cat box. Like, come on, bro. What the fuck? What does that have to do with Xbox? I mean, whoever is responsible for the marketing now, dude should be fired.
Listen,
immediately.
You know who I think? I wouldn't say they made these ads. I'm gonna see if you can guess. I don't think they made these ads, but I think they laid down the foundation and the spirit of them. I got a name. Let me see if you can guess who I think is responsible for this. You have any ideas that who might be responsible for this? Because I got a name. I want to see if you can guess it.
No, I have no idea, bro.
To me, and again, you call me Boo Boo the Fool. You call me a boob. I think Sarah Bond is behind this. I truly think that Sarah Bond, this is the direction that she wants to go in. Remember that Bloomberg article where they say that she was given she was brought in and given the promotion that she was given because it was her job to help Xbox internally transition from being console to being everywhere. And I truly think this is what she's looking to do. And I feel like that she looks uncomfortable talking about this because I'm guessing right now she's not popular with the legacy Xbox brass. I think Satya loves her. I think Amy loves her because they want to move away from the box. I know Phil wanted to incorporate more things, but I think his strategy was more, they wanted to be like PlayStation, to where number one is the box. But if you don't get the box, we're still going to reach you. We're going to reach you here, there, that, you know what I'm saying? And they were a little bit more full, but they still wanted the box to be at the center, but just not a necessity. This is different. This is, look, the box is somewhere in the periphery, but really your best bet is playing this on PC. You know what I mean? Game Pass is cheaper there. It's better there. Or games are more efficient there. You know what I mean? To me, this really screams Sarah Bond. Did y'all hear that? Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that. That was a stream from 3 fucking weeks ago. That was a stream from 3 weeks ago. It says it right here. This was a stream from 3 weeks ago. We told y'all here. Every time Cold Blood tells you, guess what's going to happen with this game? Guess what's going to happen with that game? Y'all shake y'all head and y'all say y'all don't know what you're talking about, MM2K, and then it happens. And then I got to just sit back and let my brother cuss y'all out in the chat for about 15, 20 minutes. Every time I tell y'all the business impetus of some of these decisions that are being made, who likes who, what like y'all. Oh no, you don't know that. You're not in these rooms. You're not in it. Okay. And I do this. I sit back, and then I gotta have my told you so speech every so often. Those of you, my message to you is, if you did not know that Sarah Bond was behind this, and this is a shock to you, or you're like, oh, she's being scapegoated, you need to do yourself a huge favor and you need to tune into us, because the mental capacity of understanding what the fuck is happening around you seems to be low without us. Yes, I said it. Because it seems like, see, the days of us predicting how shit is going to happen and we just be easy peasy and let it be breezy, those days are over. We're going to call out the idiocy in the community. We're going to call out the brain deadness in the community. And we're going to just remind you that you need to listen to us. There's nothing shocking here. There's nothing confusing here. We explained it to you why it's this way, and we broke it down to you several times. That was 3 weeks ago. That's how far behind the curve you are. At least 3 weeks. At the very least. I would say more. All right? Now, that we've gotten that out of the way, let's try to examine. Now, here's what I did. This is a very roughshot way of doing it. But I took a snippet of, let me see. I took a snippet of the Verge article. I was able to copy and paste a lot of it. And here it goes. Okay. Oh, whoops. Let me refresh the page. Let me refresh it. Okay. So it says Microsoft and Google are fighting over what's it called. And once you get to a certain area, it tries to stop you. Okay. So here's what I was able to grab and copy. It says Microsoft and Google are fighting over the future of Xbox. The legal battle could sway Microsoft Xbox mobile plans. It says in October, it became very clear that Microsoft and Google were at war again after a 6-year truce on legal battles ended in 2021. Google has in recent months been voicing concerns about Microsoft's cloud business. That particular dispute is at the lobbying regulator stage, but another disagreement between the two tech giants has slipped into the courts and the public sphere and could sway the future of Xbox. So just real quick, I'm not going to do this after every paragraph. I just want to let you guys know what's going on here. Google has been accusing Xbox of doing shady fucking practices to individual sectors that they're trying to buy up or whatever. The other entities in that sector speaking up and saying, look, what you're doing is fucked up. And then Microsoft essentially trying to pay them off by giving them sweetheart deals or whatever to shut them up and let them continue their growth in monopoly. A prime example of that would be what they did once they bought ABK. Google said this is the exact same thing that they've been doing. They bought ABK with the intentions of trying to dominate, not in just regular gaming with ABK and not just with their subscription service, and not with just mobile, but in the cloud. When the cloud becomes more predominant, they want to be the tell-all, be-all with the number one game, and everybody wanting access to the number one game. And therefore, because everybody wants access to the number one game in the cloud, people are going to flock to Game Pass, because Game Pass or xCloud or whatever is going to have Call of Duty. You know what I mean? AI, machine learning technology is growing. Look at NVIDIA GeForce Now. I used to, when we used to play Destiny on fucking Stadia, which their latency is nowhere near as good as what GeForce Now Ultimate is. Shout out to Project Storm, my homie Lord Kessel. We used to bust in PUBG and Destiny. We used to bust consoles motherfuckers ass on Stadia. AI and machine learning is getting up there. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how it's applied. So yes, they would sit there and talk shit. Oh, this is Stadia. Pop, pop, pop. And we would lay them the fuck out. Project Storm will tell you. Check out Project Storm's channel. He will tell you. In Project Storm, there was a wing of us. We weren't the downtrodden cloud gamers who couldn't afford or, didn't want a console. We were just the tech wing of the cloud community, where we just wanted everything that was pushing the boundaries of what tech could do. And the fact that you could get all this high-powered gaming activity on a fucking browser was tantalizing to us. And like I said, a lot of us, we were playing Destiny, PUBG, whatever was crossplay on Stadia, kicking motherfuckers' asses and taking names later. Xbox may not be there right now, but they want to, but they realize that maybe in the next decade they will be there. So by the time that they are there, they have Call of Duty in their clutches. It'll be more accessible to play it on the cloud. Look, you go download Call of Duty right now, it's 24 million gigs. You ain't got to worry about. You don't worry about that right now. You try to download it natively, it's a billion gigs. You ain't got to worry about that on the cloud. So 10 years from now, where cloud will be even more powerful than what it is today and more capable of what it is today, they want to be at the forefront of that. Not being at the forefront of that right now, they don't give a fuck. So that's why they giving people 10-year deals. There's two reasons. Give them a decade to upgrade their infrastructure. Also, they spent $70 billion on Activision Blizzard. Guess how much Activision Blizzard brings in a year? $7 billion. What's 7 times 10? 70 billion. So by the time we're out of the red with this investment, now we're going to cut it off from everybody. That's where the CMA first blocked it, but then added another fork in the road and said, we're not going to do this. We don't trust you in the cloud, so therefore you got to sell your cloud rights to Ubisoft. Or Ubisoft, you got to sell them to Ubisoft. They have the rights in the cloud. And let them have, and even after the 10 years that they have them, those games that they have in the cloud, they're going to have rights to them in perpetuity, meaning forever. So even when 2034 comes and they don't have to sell their rights in the cloud anymore to Ubisoft, all those games that Ubisoft has will always remain with Ubisoft. That fucks up what Microsoft wants to do. But that's what Google is saying, is like, if Microsoft had it their way, which for the most part they did until the CMA stepped in here, they were able to do this monopolistic activity, get away with it, even as companies complain, because they gave them sweetheart deals like how they tried to do by giving everybody 10-year deals with Call of Duty and stuff like that. It's just the CMA pushed them further than they liked, because trust me, they didn't want to give 10-year deals to Amazon. That's why they never mentioned Amazon. They didn't want to give 10-year deals to Amazon. They didn't want to do any 10-year deals with anything related to Google. Why? Because they're competing with Google in the cloud. So any cloud gaming activity is going to support Google Cloud. They didn't want that, but they had to give the whole kit and caboodle. So now instead of taking this property, making the money back off of it, and having the prestige of having the biggest game in the world, now that ain't a major pillar anymore. The biggest fallback now is mobile. And really part of the reason why they're not able to do what they wanted to do is because Google snitched on them. Google snitched on them. CMA caught wind of it. CMA educated themselves on it. CMA put a block to it. Because remember, this was all blocked because of the cloud gaming part. So now that that's happened, Microsoft is like, fuck you. Fuck you, punk motherfuckers. We want to we're going to create a mobile store, and we're putting that son of a bitch in Google Play. We've been moving towards this for a while, but we're pressing this even further. You want to fuck with us? We're going to fuck with you double time. And that leads to where we're at today. So part of that campaign is them saying, fuck it. Look, I came in, Sarah Bond saying, I came in here to help you guys get over this fucking console thing. You can't fuck with PlayStation. Leave it alone. Can't fuck with them. Our best bet is to be Xbox everywhere. So that will justify our legal moves against Google. That's why they tried to play all coy about cloud gaming during the FTC trial, and they didn't really look to make any upgrades. And remember, Sarah Bond said we're losing money off of the, Sarah was behind that effort too. It worked out somewhat in their favor. I think if they had to do everything again, they probably wouldn't do it like Mike Ybarra said, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Because if FTC had to, well, who knows? If FTC would have had their way, they would have just lost $3 billion out of the stipulations of if the thing wasn't passed, and that would have looked real bad on Microsoft. But Sarah Bond was active in that and said, we're losing money in the cloud. Now that trials are over for the most part, now, no, it's like she never said that. Oh no, the cloud activity is growing, right? This is step 2 in the facade. We're Xbox everywhere, so that can help push along through the courts in our legal battle with Google. We're not about a console. We're just trying to be active everywhere like everybody else. Why can't we compete? The company that makes more money than Google, who all Google did was built a powerful infrastructure within an open source. You want to be available on this open source? You do the same fucking thing. That's it. I could never walk into your mall, not pay a fucking dime and set up shop and sell shit. The police would escort me out, right? Right. Rightfully so. Then why the fuck do these multi-trillion-dollar companies get to do shit like that? That's the real question you got to ask. But furthermore, back to Sarah Bond, who's trying to rat her out and set her up to throw her under the bus in case shit goes awry, and why? I just wanted to provide that backdrop for you so you understood what was actually going on and why Sarah Bond, part of the reason why she was influenced to do this. It's this battle. But remember, Sarah Bond said to the Forbes people, or I think it was Forbes she did the interview with, or Bloomberg. She said to Bloomberg, look, I was brought here to help bring these guys out of their mind state and help them bring Xbox everywhere. She said that months ago. All right. Okay. With that said, we can now continue on. Microsoft revealed last week that it built a new Xbox game store for Android, but has been able to launch it. The store relies on a key court ruling that would force sweeping changes to Google's Play Store, opening it up to competition and ending the requirement for apps to use Google Play billing. Microsoft has been desperate for regulators to act and pave the way for its ambitious Xbox mobile efforts, but after the court offered a brief moment of hope, Google won a temporary administrative stay, blocking the changes from coming to effect in November. Microsoft has planned to sell games directly in its Xbox app for Android and allow customers to immediately stream those games directly to their phones and tablets. These two features combined aren't possible right now unless Microsoft is willing to sacrifice 30% of the Xbox game purchases on Android to Google. Due to a temporary administrative stay recently granted by the courts, we are currently unable to launch these features as planned, said Xbox President Sarah Bond in a Blue Sky post. Last week on the eve of Thanksgiving, our team has the functionality built and ready to go live and to make a final decision. So now again, before I give you this scenario, before you guys go, oh, but MM, you tripping, you're just making this up. Remember the clip I just played for you. We told y'all almost a month ago, this was Sarah Bond. Stop playing these emotional Habuki games with yourself. Stop it. Stop trying to brainwash yourself. Reality is reality. All right? Is that crystal clear? Can we move on? All right, let's do it. Matter of fact, before we do that, let's see what they're saying in the chat. Let's see if you guys are in La La Land or if it's sticking with y'all in the chat. Shout out to Chris Coleman being gifted. Thank you. And thank you again, Juice, for doing so. And sorry about that. Thank you so much for letting us know, old man guru. Shout out to Ice Queen Gaming. Good to see you. This is when it comes to black people, always going to be DEA hires. It's pathetic and insulting. Okay, Mary. So here's what I'm going to say, Mary. This is back in February. People were calling her a DEI hire, so she shouldn't surprise anyone. Let me see this. Let me say this. It's kind of like my PlayStation 5 Pro video, where I say there are multiple things happening here. I get the whole DEI thing. Look, man, I've had to deal with that type of mind state until I demonstrated that all the motherfuckers that were calling me DEI were not smarter than my toenail. And then a lot of them ended up reporting to me because they were incompetent. So trust me, I've been there. There may be some of that in the responses that you're seeing in Twitter, but Twitter is not a real place. You can't have a real conversation on Twitter. You can't have a real conversation on most places on YouTube. Come here. You know what I'm saying? Like, come here. I will have it down the middle. You know, let's keep it real, keep it on. As someone who has faced those type of allegations myself, it makes me laugh and chuckle. And then I don't get angry. I don't get upset. I make people eat crow. I've had that chucked at me I've been in high management positions for over 2 decades before I went to special projects. And I went to special projects because I got tired of dealing with the dumb shit, other dumb shit. And I said, I've done what I don't have anything else to prove. Just give me my money. And now I talk with people that I feel like are on my level that can understand how things happen. I got to deal with the annoyance of people that don't have the intellect to understand what's going on. Again, trying to tell you, oh, well, you don't belong here. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit never angers me. It always, matter of fact, it invigorates me because I love proving people wrong. I'm an asshole. I get rock hard. You know what I'm saying? I gotta hide my crouch when I get an opportunity to prove people wrong. And I said, okay, I got nothing else to prove. They're doing some dumb shit. I'm going to work on special projects, deal with people that I know are cool, intellectual, that, know how to get shit done. that I ain't got to carry them. So trust me, I've been there. This is more than that. I'm explaining to you why. Again, you're going to see those responses on Twitter and YouTube. Yes, you are. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. Because that doesn't tell you the real story of what's happening here. Something else is happening here. All right? I'm going to break it down to y'all in a little bit. He says, Xbox are mad at Sarah. They want her out of Xbox. Yeah, they do. They are trying to. They said nobody else feel an apology. He put the fork in Xbox a long time ago. That is 1,000% correct, Michael. I totally agree that with that in Apple also. My store, my rule. Yeah, I mean, just a minute, bro. Can you imagine if you who owns restaurants here, right? Or who owns something here like a storefront? Can you imagine you're sipping your coffee and you're looking at your business, you're going over your totals and you're like, just flash back to a moment when you were having a good week, maybe a good month, even a good year. And you're like, man, we're finally breaking ground, man. Oh man, this is great, man. We can really expand. And you're sitting there going over your finances and whatever, just looking, at the accounting. And then all of a sudden my greasy ass walks in there and I set up shop. And you're like, hold on, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, hey, what's up, fellow business partner? I'm a new business partner. I want to get in this, right? And I got more money than you, but I just don't want to work and do what you did. Like, you got a great system set up here, man. You got a lot of customers that come through here. You do great advertisement. So I figured, hey, being that I have more money than you, why not keep it? Fuck it. I'm going to keep my money, I'm going to set up shop, and I'm going to suck off the teat of your hard work, your investment, your advertisement, your security. Even though I have more money to duplicate it, I just need to have competent people manage it. Why go through that? You already got something set up. Oh yeah, and to make it even better, my friend, I'm not giving you a fucking dime. Like, Xbox has y'all balls so clamped that they got y'all actually fighting for this. Were you, the average citizen, you would never get away with something like that. Never. But they let multi-trillion-dollar company do it to a company with less capital. The fuck? This video game shit gets weird sometimes. Like, y'all throw everything out of the window when it comes to these plastic boxes. That's why I said Twitter's not a real place. YouTube isn't. Come here. Come here. All right? It's crazy for me. It's crazy to me. So sick of the DIA, the dog whistle and all of this stuff. Like I said, yeah, let them sit in their own piss. Let them sit in their own piss. Let them just congregate amongst themselves, gargle their own piss or whatever. There's more to it than that's actually going on, but that's what they relish on. They wake up every day and they relish upon that shit. Yeah, let them do that. Dudes already said prejudiced things towards Sarah when she did the interview after the Tango debacle. Microsoft is terrible. They know their fan base is very anti-black and they're going, Andrew, there's more to it than this. Like, trust me, I am not, there's no cooning over here, all right? Can I say that? I'm allowed to say that publicly without getting channel fucked up? There's no cooning over here. But I will tell you this. I fight and advocate for things to be fair. I don't fight and advocate for a power structure to be replaced by another power structure. I want things to be fair. So if there's a power structure in place, I'm all for, look, what you guys are doing are not fair. You're not doing it based upon merit or whatever. You're trying to create a power structure that means regardless of what you're capable of doing, you're always going to succeed in behooves to someone else. No, I just want it to be fair. I want it to be solely based upon capabilities. So that's how I live my life. That's how I approach things. because I approach things that way, I will say, Andrew, I'm not willing to call that. That's not what's happening here. That type of goofy conversation is happening on Twitter, and it's going to happen in YouTube tomorrow. But that's not what's at the heart of what's going on with Sarah Bond. I'm going to explain it to you. You know what I'm saying? It says, it didn't take a genius to know that Sarah would push Xbox over the cliff. Phil drove it right up to the edge, but Sarah gave it that final nudge. They both deserve the blame. I'm going to agree with 90% of that. And shout out to Sleepy's out. I think, did you just sub? Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. Yo, El Nini, what's going on? All right, so here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say. I think we're kind of getting we're letting the rhetoric on Twitter and YouTube drive this into a different place, and I think we're losing the plot a little bit. I can tell in the chat. All right. There was a reason why I said what I said 3 weeks ago. There's a reason why we said that here on this channel. Why did we say what we said 3 weeks ago? Because when I looked at that ad, I said, this is so disconnected from the Xbox base. It's like they're not even trying to talk to them. They're trying to talk past them. We know now that is that smart? No. We know Phil, to a fault, is always trying to use double speak and say things, even though the reality is the complete opposite, with the core in mind, because it's the core. It's how they're making most of their money. Regardless of what they want to do, what they want to do is vapor right now. It's hopes and aspiration. It's not a secure business structure. Why? Because they're not really making money from it right now. Where's Xbox making most of their money? Xbox is making most of their money off of the console. They're making most of their money off the console. Well, there's more Game Pass subscribers. Game Pass is $12 on PC Game Pass. It's not like a 3-to-1 margin. Game Pass is $20 on the main Game Pass, right? So whatever margins there are of more people on PC, I'm pretty sure as far as money is concerned, it's made up on. So there's that. Also, when you buy a third-party game on Xbox, who gets 30% of that? I repeat, when you buy a third-party game on Xbox, who gets 30% of that? Xbox. When you buy a third-party game on Steam, who gets 30% of that? I repeat, when you buy a third-party game on Steam, who gets 30% of that? Not Xbox. So when you combine Xbox Game Pass on the Xbox console, all the variations of it, along with the Xbox Marketplace money, where they get 100% of anything that's sold on their console that they made, that's first party, and they at least get 30% of anything else that's sold, Xbox is making way more money via the console than they are anywhere else as far as it relates to games. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm talking about their games, or just games in general, you can make an argument that a close number 2 is now PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? You can make an argument that a close number 2 now is starting to become PlayStation. But the bulk of the money that's made out of Xbox versus PC and even versus Amazon Luna, it's still the console. Until that is not the case, Xbox feasibly, in order to maintain its financials in some shape, form, or fashion, has to placate to the console gamer. Phil knew that. Phil just didn't know the right way to do it while applying the changes. Sarah Bond is simply saying, fuck it. Fuck that water. Shout out to Next Gen 720. Fuck that water, or fuck that console. We are going to now look past those motherfuckers, and we're going to look for the disenfranchised cloud gamer. We're going to look for the soccer mom that now all of a sudden wants to play God of War. We're going to find those people, and then we're just going to make them our new pride and true. We just got to be aggressive about it. If we're aggressive about it, we can do it. We're going to spray paint buses. We're going to go to Sydney, Australia and paint koala bears. There's a bunch of shit we're going to do. We're just going to be aggressive about it. And what you see in this article from Verge and Tom Warren in the excerpts that I'm looking at is that somebody wants to make it abundantly clear within the Xbox camp to Tom Warren, yeah. This right here doesn't seem like it's working. It's not picking up any steam. This is why we're doing it. But if this collapses at the bottom, this is who's behind it. So yes, that is a form of scapegoating, but we gotta keep it a buck here. Who was the one that went to Bloomberg and told Bloomberg, Andrew Wilkins, that's why I said we gotta keep it a buck. Who's the one that went to Bloomberg and told Bloomberg, you know what? I came here to change things. I came here to help them, understand that we can't just be around the console anymore. I didn't get along with Phil Spencer at first. We had to get HR involved. And as a result, I now got to put a Post-it note on my monitor that says, now listen to this, that says, don't do what he says, do what he means. Which means this guy is so stupid, he doesn't know what he wants. I'm going to interpret that. That right there, my friends, was grandes kahunas that I didn't know that Sarah Bond had. To at the behest of the person that she reports to. That was humiliating from a professional level to be able to do that. And you don't have balls like that unless the person above you report to gives you the blessing. So that's why I said, in all likelihood, based upon my business experience where we've been predicting stuff, bang, 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 bang here on this channel, where y'all just heard the snippet. We showed y'all where 3 weeks ago. We already told y'all this was Sarah Bond's thing. I am telling you that based upon that same knowledge base that helped us sniff out that this was Sarah Bond's thing, based upon that same knowledge base, I'm here to tell you right now that there's factions at Xbox right now. There is a pro Phil Spencer faction that, hey, let's do the traditional Let's pretend like we're going to battle until Satya chips away and we can't pretend no more. Let's keep the charade up. There is the pros, I'm going to call it the pro Satya wing. The wing that's like, the gig is up. Fuck it. And fuck these console gamers. They're not doing shit for us anyway. We need to move past them. And those two sides are fighting. And I want you to think about this. Who do you think Tom Warren is siding with? Who do you think Tom Warren is siding with? Who do you think has his ear? I'll give you a hint. Same person has the same ear of his buddy Jazz. I'm telling you right now, there's an intern, which they'll never come out to, yeah, you're right. They would have never told me I was right before. When we said that this was serious thing, they wouldn't have said, oh yeah, you in cold blood nailed it. They would have never said that. But I'm telling you, because I've seen this shit in real life. It's a battle going on. There's the Satya side, and then there's the Phil side. And the floor general for Satya is Sarah Bond. At one point in time, and Cold Blood helped realize this to me. I had forgot all about it. At one point in time, it was Matt Booty. But when Matt Booty got under Phil Spencer, he got some of that Phil Spencer loser juice all over him, and he can't shake it off. Whoa, Redfall. Phantom Dust, the original assets. Oh, yeah. Minecraft Legends. He can't shake the loser. He can't shake the loser juice off of him. So now he's a Phil Spencer minion. But guess what? Sarah Bond ain't sitting on her laurels either. Why do you say that? Remember the infamous Black Myth Wukong is a secret deal with Sony as a secret. Now, yes, did Jazz write an article and jump out of the window on that one? Yes, because Jazz, he wants that consistent attaboy from Microsoft. Let's look beyond him. Who else was reporting on this? IGN, Paul Tassi, and Digital Foundry? That's an interesting selection if you're from Xbox and you're trying to alert everybody that you believe there's this secret deal. But who do we think that person was that went to those three other entities? Well, it's the same person that ironically told a specific content creator the same thing that the content creator admitted to publicly right after, what was it, Gamescom or something like that? Sarah Bond. So Sarah Bond is working on her own ground soldiers. Paul Tassi, who's never been known to be close to Phil. Yeah, Digital Foundry, somewhat kind of are. I mean, they're close to Xbox because of the tech and the brown nosing that they do with the tech. But those are interesting choices. If you want to pass something along, why don't you go to fucking what's his name, Jason Schreier? Why don't you go to Jeff Grubb? No, you went to them folks. So Sarah got her little supposed ground toy soldiers too. But there's a war going on inside. To quote the great Mobb Deep. And somebody went to somebody on the Phil Spencer side of the aisle and said, "Psst, we just want to let you know Yeah, this is an Xbox thing. If the floor, this is why this is why it's being done. But if the floor falls out on the thing, it's her. Wow. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But here's why, to answer to Andrew Wilkins or whatever, and I trust me, as someone who's going through it, believe you me, I understand. But I don't want to blur the lines here of what's going on and us miss the education or understand what's going on. I don't want to just simplify it as DEI, name calling, or or the DEI card, or something else. It's two factions going to war with each other. And before we say Sarah Bond was set up, I'm not saying Sarah Bond's being scapegoated, but she wasn't set up. Why wasn't she? Because to believe Sarah Bond was set up, you have to believe that Sarah Bond wanted to do what Phil did. Sarah Bond didn't want to do what Phil did. Sarah Bond came out and announced, hey, I didn't get along with this motherfucker. Because this motherfucker ain't stuck on the console. And it's so bad, y'all. Look, you wanna know how bad it is? It was like an old school 90s comic monologue. You wanna know how bad? It was so bad that I had to write on post-it notes to remind me, don't do what this motherfucker say, do what I think. You know what I'm saying? Who does that? Who does that? And if y'all are saying, well, look, maybe they put her up to it, then I'm leaving. There's no fucking way. Unless you got my kids kidnapped, my spouse kidnapped in the basement with gallons of gasoline, and you keep flicking the lighter. Unless that's happening, there's no way. Nobody's that stupid to set themselves up and say, oh yeah, I'll say that in an interview. She's smarter than that. She was planting her flag. That would have been humiliating to Phil. And then right after that, motherfucker he looked like Mumra, the ever living, before Mumra, changed his powers. That's what Phil looked like in that Bloomberg interview. And he was looking bad at Comic-Con. The ever living. But now that this campaign may not be working, might not be, because look how the whole community reacted to it. And I don't see this. Do you see this? This is an Xbox thing? No, you don't see that anymore. You don't see it anymore. This is you would imagine if they really wanted to push this campaign, you would imagine that they would have peppered this shit. The Xbox account would be saying, this is an Xbox, this isn't a Beano box. I wonder how many of them shirts they sold. Huh? Any of you content creators got any of those? This is an Xbox, this is a Beano box shirt, huh? How many of you? How many of yes? And see, things aren't a coincidence to me. Or my first inkling, because I don't look at things as a coincidence. Now, after I've surveyed all of the facts, it may come down to a point to where I say, okay, this was a coincidence. But no, I don't, for the most part, I don't look at things that way. I see if there's a link there. And wouldn't it so happen that Phil, just a few weeks ago, we were like, hold on, is this dude doing all right? I'm putting out fillers too, the motherfuckers I know that are close to him. Is this dude okay? To now, it looked like he been eating some ham hocks all Thanksgiving. And look at him. This is the end of the year 2024 and Xbox game. They look like old Phil Spencer again. Ain't that a bitch? Why? Because there's probably some delayed gratification that he's getting out of, oh, you guys wanted to step on my neck. let this is an Xbox bullshit happen. Okay, you'll see. Now the motherfucker's eating again. He was just sucking on pistachio shells for the last 2 months. And he's like, oh, my days are numbered. Now he's seeing that this shit might be, oh, you'll see. He look healthy to the motherfucker. Look like he could play pickleball all month, nonstop. No, I don't need any sleep. He's down there at the Xbox gym playing pickleball like a motherfucker. So that's why I'm not trying to discredit y'all some of the bullshit that you're going to see on YouTube. Sometimes we got to look past that bullshit and just call it for what it is. You dumb fuck. If you want to focus on that, fine. That, you know, and I'm not saying that to y'all. I'm saying that should be your response to them. I'm not saying it to y'all. I'm just saying that's what I would. You dumb fuck. You go fuck your cousin somewhere. I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on what the real thing is. So I'm informed as a consumer. That's what I would do. Don't let that bullshit online mess with your understanding what's happening. Sarah Bond owned this. She wanted to own it. She wanted all of this. She wanted all of it. She got it. So we'll see what happens. El Nini says Phil needs to go. That Everything Everywhere campaign came from T-Mobile. Yes, exactly. Great. Yes, exactly. Remember when I worked at one, think it was around. Guess who's from T-Mobile? Guess who was responsible for that? Sarah Bond. Excuse me. Y'all didn't know that? Don't tell me that I went through all the rigors. I had to pay this dude a gazillion dollars. No, I brought King Thrash on here for him to inform y'all of that months ago. And y'all didn't know that. Sarah Bond came over from T-Mobile. So in all likelihood, Real Royal Vision, when you saw that, that was the campaign that she did over there. Now, it must have been successful, or maybe she stuck on it and she said, we're going to do the same thing over here. But that just shows a disconnect between her and the core audience. She's talking right past y'all. She's actually talking past y'all. And if that campaign was successful, Real World Vision, she's talking to those same motherfuckers she was trying to grab at T-Mobile. I just don't think that my wife is going to go on a Fire TV and say, oh, I can play Starfield now? Holy fuck. My God. Life is so much better. Like, that's not going to happen. What you do, like, let me put it to you like this. Yes, Sarah Bond. Sarah Bond is from she came from T-Mobile. So let me put it to y'all like this. What you're seeing with what Xbox is going to do is going to be, I would call the next renaissance in gaming. I'll call it the third renaissance in gaming. Okay. The first renaissance in gaming was when consoles were made, when the Atari, ColecoVision, all those came to the house. That was the first renaissance. That's what really blew games up, because it just wasn't kids going to a park. Going to a mall to play video games anymore. Now the games could come to your home. That was the first renaissance. The second renaissance was when gaming became mainstream popular. Gaming became mainstream popular with the PlayStation 1. Some of you may not be old enough to remember that, but before the PlayStation 1, gaming wasn't mainstream popular. Gaming was just with the nerds. Now, you may have had an uncle, drunk aunt that would come by. Hey, baby, let me play some of that Duck Hunt. But opposite of that, it was just us nerds playing Super Metroid, Alice 3 or whatever, right? Blaster Master, Kid Icarus. It was just us. Kung Fu. The second renaissance is when the PlayStation 1 came. We were just talking about this. I remember sitting on the couch with my aunt. I was like 18, 19. And my aunt was like, "Ooh, that looks so cool. I want to play one." Of my aunt, but she was the drunk aunt that, "Oh, hey, baby, let me play some of that Duck Hunt." And I said, "Hold on, my aunt wants to play video games?" She's like, "You gonna get one of those things?" And I was like, "Not if you coming to fuck up." No, not if bringing your drunk ass over here. I was sitting and thinking to myself, no, I didn't particularly like it because I wanted to gatekeep it for the nerds, but PlayStation didn't give a fuck what I wanted. That's when gaming became mainstream. When the games became more cinematic. I remember Final Fantasy VII coming out and there being commercials for that. That brought everybody to gaming. That brought everybody wanted to be a gamer. Right? So that was the second renaissance in gaming. The third renaissance is when gaming becomes hardware agnostic, when your ecosystem becomes hardware agnostic. What do I mean by that? Cloud gaming, where you can game natively, you can game in the cloud, you can game on the Fire TV, you can game. That's great. And I think we eventually will be there. You can decide where you want to game and you're going to have a multitude of places to game on. Here's the problem. Every time there was a major gaming renaissance, something exciting brought it to you. Right? Because remember, there was the idea of the console wasn't, it had been tried before, the ColecoVision or whatever. I forget the black guy's name, the guy that made the very first console. Yes, he is the godfather of the console because he created and manufactured those capabilities of bringing it home. But there wasn't anything there to make people get excited and say, hey, it wasn't until the ColecoVision and all those other things came out that had games that excited people did consoles blow up in the home or become a lucrative thing in the home. The second thing, do you think that PlayStation was the first company that tried to make gaming mainstream? Nintendo tried it over and over and over, and they tried multiple things. They were never successful. PlayStation was successful. Why? Because PlayStation brought something exciting. You want to bring in the mainstream? Got to bring in drama. Got to bring in storytelling. That's when storytelling and drama became big in games with PlayStation. Back in the day, games were all about just simply gameplay, level design, all that other shit. That's why I'm not too big on story. Yeah, there were certain like little elements here and they're like, Samus is a girl or other. The stories were like real small parts of the game. But that's how they brought in the masses with story. That's what Sony was missing. I mean, that's what Nintendo was missing, story. Now we're here with Microsoft. And I'm not mad at Sarah Bond wanting to be everywhere. I'm not mad at her wanting to be everywhere. But consoles and phones are different. Consoles are a hobby / art, a technical hobby / art. A phone is somewhat, felt like a necessity. So, in order for you to have the next big phone device or phone implementation, it doesn't always have to be groundbreaking. It works on availability. Gaming is different. In order for you to break in a new renaissance in gaming, you got to give gamers something exciting. It has to be unique. It has to be groundbreaking, not just a matter of convenience. That's what Xbox doesn't understand. That's why they keep failing. So I'm not mad at Sarah Bond for wanting to do this. And like I said, Xbox's problems aren't their ideas. It's always the execution. But believe you me, Sarah wanted this. She wanted the smoke. She probably didn't want this, but you see on the screen right here, she didn't want this article. She don't want this smoke because this is an indicator that maybe her campaign ain't working, which we told you that weeks ago too. She didn't want that, but she wanted everybody to know. I came in here. I'm breaking shit up. It is me. I had to curb these motherfuckers. They'd so bad at getting it. I had to put Post-it notes on my computer because I got to deal with this incompetence. Oh shit. Hey yo, that might be the hip hop quotable today, bro. Shout out to the homie Cree. Cree, where you been at, bro? Where you been at? Good to see you back in the chat. Cree said, I worked a few levels under Bond at T-Mobile. She doesn't know phones either. And that may be the case. I'm going to say something that's going to hurt you guys' hearts. And I want to preface it with this. But again, I always want people to look beyond the veil. Trust me. And maybe one day I'll share these stories with you guys. Trust me. When you walk into a white collar corporate area and the majority of the people don't look like you, well, trust me, I get it. The first inkling is to say, who brought this guy in here? Who felt sorry for somebody, right? The area where I started managing, I didn't have any training. I had to train myself. We're talking about people who had to be trained for months. Before you had to work on your own, where I come from, you had to be trained for months. You couldn't do anything by yourself for months. And we're talking about college educated people, Penn State, Michigan. We had someone from Duke. I mean, we had a lot of quote unquote smart people there. And I walk in. I don't look like anybody there. So the first inkling was, who gave this guy? Somebody felt sorry for somebody. And you just can't imagine how many times people approach me with that mindset. And just was like, and I just sat there and I just looked at them. I didn't get mad. I didn't get angry. I didn't cuss them out. How dare you, mother? I didn't do none of that. I just sat there and I said, oh, okay. And as I got into, if I remember one time I had processed, it was something real small. It wasn't even nothing big. I processed something small because I couldn't get a trainer. For some reason, I couldn't get a trainer. So I literally had to sit with somebody else as they were being trained. That's how bad it was. But see, I didn't get mad, get upset, got determined. I sat there amongst all these upper echelon, Duke, Michigan, Penn State educated mofos. I just went to a Corinthian school. Got my associates, then had to go back and get my bachelor's. So, and for those of you that don't understand what a Corinthian school is just like, it's like a trade school, but then they're a little bit higher than a trade school because they give you like college courses, So yeah, I mean, I had started at the University of Cincinnati, realized what I had went into wasn't really what I wanted, and then had to start over from scratch, except for a couple of electives. And I started over at a Corinthian school. So you got these major, and they're sitting there looking at me like, oh, this poor guy, he's gonna be our, you know, we gotta help him along, right? And I remember I made one processing mistake, and everybody thought it was so funny. I said, okay. Once I got my bearing. Now again, there's a lot of people with those backgrounds going to a top school or whatever, and just, you know, easy peasy like Sunday morning. They don't have to work hard. It's just, you know, shit is given to them, right? It wasn't like that. I had to scratch and claw for everything I got. They take things for granted. So they would have clients calling around the clock, and they wouldn't be there. They would take 2-3 hour lunches, be at the bar. Again, white, top of the class, white collar people, top of the line, graduate schools or whatever. They thought their shit didn't stink. I'm different. I work for mine. So I'm the only one in the office at times because these motherfuckers are having drinks, I'm the shit parties, right? I'm taking calls from their clients. I'm doing their work while they're away. At first, they looked at it as, oh yeah, you can do our grunt work. I said, oh, okay. But after some time, clients started calling our boss and saying, we don't want to work with them anymore. We want to work with him because he's better. And little by little, I started getting all these clients. And now they're not laughing anymore. They're just sitting there looking at me like, you motherfucker. And I said, yeah, you're right. It's called delayed gratification. And then my boss, or the big boss of the department, came to me and said, hold on. Like, where did you come from? And I said, oh, it's not about where I come from. You have the game twisted. Just because these motherfuckers have parents that are rich that put them through these high expensive schools doesn't mean shit. They don't work for theirs. You want to know where you can find a whole bunch of people that will work for theirs? And guess what? I'm going to give you a little secret. They ain't go to these high powered schools that they went to. So you can skim a little bit and they'll be happy with it. You ain't get, you know, instead of giving them 70, 80,000, you can give them 60. They'll be happy. And they'll work twice as hard as them. For real? Where? I just started bringing motherfuckers from my school. So now I'm not the only one that looks like me there. There's a bunch of us, and we worked harder than the people that were talking down to me. It's a process. You can't flip it overnight, and getting angry about it doesn't help. You just got to get effective. Look the ignorance in its face and say, okay, I got you. And then eradicate it little by little. So trust me, I get it. I understand it. But what you don't want to do is take that situation and try to paint it over everything. That's not what's happening here. This isn't, let's take the black woman, let's put her in a position where she's the scapegoat. Sarah Bowen said, I want this smoke because these dudes is stupid. These cats is dumb. They don't know what they're doing. Fuck them. Oh, and if you game on console, fuck you too. And it's simply these dudes responding saying, you know what? Okay. Let's see how your little campaign goes. And it ain't working. And that's going to lead me to what I'm going to say that might give y'all some heartburn. I just ran the story down. I gave y'all a brief history of my work history. So trust me, I've been in the center of a lot of that ignorant, dumb shit. Trust me. And I go through it every day. I gotta have businesses right now where I gotta have people that don't look like me posted as my CEOs in order for me to get business. Trust me. I know that the thickness of the ignorance out there, but you gotta be able to look at things from 5,000 feet. Because just as bad as that ignorance are unqualified people being given opportunities because of how they look like, because then that sets a perception on you. Like one of the things I had to tell my boss, because they were like, oh, we're losing business because everybody says we're so outdated and we just look like that we're, like our diversity population is so low, and we need to hire a whole bunch of black people. And they call me, hey, can you help us? Can you get more people from your school? And I said, whoa. All of the people from my school that are qualified to work here, they're here. And there could be more. You need to start an internship program. But we're not just going to randomly. I had to tell my boss, I had to tell her this, and she respected me for it years later. I said, you're not just going to randomly pull anybody off the street because there's a perception coming in. And once they fuck up because they're not qualified to be here, that closes the door for everybody else. I'm not going to be part of that. This is Xbox's problem. I know there's a thicket of ignorance that happens. I just gave you guys my scenarios. But just imagine for a moment, this moment, that's not what's going on here. What's actually going on is, again, Xbox's biggest flaw. They focus so much on diversity, they don't focus on quality. Remember how I just told you about my boss that just went and just snagged people? Oh, we need a certain aesthetic. Instead of saying no, instead of having keenness to them and just finding the right people. I get a feeling, because I've had to deal with this with my bosses, because it's all ignorance. And it's all ignorance attacking each other. You got to find people, if you're going to make a transition and lead this next renaissance. Okay, where's the exciting thing attached to it? There's nothing exciting about what Xbox is doing. You might have a few disenfranchised cloud gamers that are like, oh, this is great. But outside of that niche group, you're not captivating game. You're not presenting anything to the table besides convenience. And as we all know, when it comes to tech and gaming, convenience is not going to win the day. If you want to usher in this new renaissance, there has to be something exciting behind this. And Xbox fails at its deliverables when it comes to anything exciting. They brought in Sarah Barron to help jump them beyond the console. Okay. What are people jumping to? Well, they can play on their Fire TV. Why? Why is that important? Is it as good as the console? Well, no, it doesn't have to be. Why doesn't it have to be? Because it's convenient. Ask the people that currently buy consoles that outweigh the people that want a game that don't buy consoles. Ask them if buying a console is inconvenient, and they'll tell you no. So why are you leaning on convenience to win them over? Convenience can be a factor. It can be a selling point, but you need a selling point to win these people over. What is it, Sarah? And if she can't answer that question, she doesn't get the job. That's Xbox's problem. Their leadership, their culture, their approach to their teams and their management is all about aesthetics. Just because hey, look, you may go to a grocery store and you may want a potato. But what do? If you know what you're doing, you got to squeeze the potato to see if it's rotten. You got to vet it. But you're still walking out with the potato. Okay, that's fine. You want a potato, go get a potato. But you got to vet it. Where is the vetting? Now I'm hearing from Cree in the chat. Like, I can literally bring Cree on and just shut the fuck up. He's letting y'all know in the chat that he has experience under Sarah, and she wasn't good at the phone. So before you look, and I'm not saying Sarah isn't smart. I think Sarah more than enough showed her worth when it came to talking at the FTC trial and testifying there, and then brokering these Sega deals. These Sega deals is probably the best thing Xbox got going for it. Getting Persona and shit day and date and Game Pass and having that, the rights, spread across the platforms. Sarah brokered that. That's what Sarah should be doing. That and that only. She should be talking behind the scenes to clients, brokering deals, and also being the Xbox business representative. This ground level, dealing with the console, communicating to the consumers, this is not for her. It's like Phil Spencer. I'm not saying Phil Spencer shouldn't work in gaming, but he shouldn't be the CEO of a platform. I think Phil Spencer would be great at an ESRB or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Again, advocating for games. Like, I'm not trying to get political here, but we had heard Donald Trump get live and say something about how something again, not the tariffs, but he had mentioned something about gaming. It would be great to have Phil Spencer sit him down and rap to him, just like how I've had to talk to somebody recently close to me that's in a political position about something that they tried to blame on gaming. But I'm going to tell you this. I feel like 80% of the Xbox leadership just doesn't belong there. They're either in the wrong positions or they don't belong there. So trust me, I've been there, y'all. I've been there. But something's going on. And it's deeper than that. I know that's the talk on Twitter because Twitter is a cesspool of stupidity. He says, I was being nosy to see if it matched what I hear online. Far from these people literally play YouTube and Twitter. Yes, sir. Mobile. It's all starting to be crystal clear. Yeah, I told you. Yep. Yes, it does, Phil Bosch. I love it. I got a stream of it. Please go to MM2K Gaming streams where you can see a stream of my Spider 2, and I edited it out. I started noticing like after a minute, people were jumping off, and that's because I wanted to sit there and let the cape flap, and so y'all could see that. Apparently, y'all didn't appreciate that, so I had to cut that part out. But go ahead and check it out. Yeah, I literally don't have to say anything. Cree is like spilling the tea in the chat. He says T-Mobile products are mostly rebrands. No one outside of the industry knows what a danger hip top is. Everyone knew that what a T-Mobile Sidekick was. If you remember the Sprint Drive product, we dressed it in magnetic, and called it a T-Mobile. Yeah, I remember that now. That I do remember. What's up, PlayStation Suite? What's going on? He says, do you think they just need to cycle out a lot of the Xbox leadership that has console warrior mindset? I don't think. See, here's the thing, Cree. Phil's heart is in the right place. I think the problem isn't what Phil wants to do. The problem is Phil doesn't know how to do it. That's the problem. He doesn't know how to do it. That's his problem. Phil doesn't know how to do it. It's not, that's why when people say you're an Xbox hater, I said, no, it's not that I'm an Xbox hater. I got to deal with competency at some level. You got to be competent. She's not competent. He's not competent. That's all it is. They're not competent. They don't know what they're doing, and they're being led by someone unlike a Nintendo or unlike a Sony that is not tethered to the culture. Now, Hiroki Totoki isn't tethered to the culture, but at least the board knows gaming. They just got Hiroki Totoki doing what he's doing. That's a whole nother podcast, but still. All of the culture in gaming starts with Phil. That's a horrible situation to be in. It's not what Phil wants to do. It's his execution of it. The console it didn't live up to expectations. First it was you got to have a VR experience. Now you don't. Then cloud. The cloud integration was underwhelming. Now, those of you that like it, if you like it, great. But I'm telling you, the overwhelming majority of your contemporaries, when they tried it after the server upgrades, they said, no, I'm out. Now we're seeing, and for only PlayStation to leapfrog your ass, upgrade to 4K first, and now there's actually a report out there, we're going to talk about it tomorrow in a row, there's actually a report out there that says that since they put it on the portal, the cloud, PlayStation put the cloud on the portal, it's gotten even better than that. It was already behind GeForce Now Ultimate. It's gotten better than that since then. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Bro, I could literally play my Portal at my work with just my mobile data as a fucking hotspot.
That's crazy.
Without any issues whatsoever. Like, I was playing Like a Dragon Ishin, where you need some reflexes and shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta dodge and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not some fucking strategy game or something.
That's crazy.
Like an actual action game, and it works fucking flawlessly.
What are we doing? Well, you would expect Xbox to have that type of capability before they rolled this out, right? They seem to be nowhere near it.
But xCloud is a fucking slideshow in comparison.
And again, I get to just people out there that like it cold blood, but you got to understand you're in the minority. You got to be self-aware. You're in the minority. I remember people were telling me, "Oh yeah, you just wait. You know, xCloud. Yeah, wait till them server blades." Everybody, like, I remember the whole gaming community. I remember this shit like it was yesterday because I just sat back and said, again, y'all gonna have to learn the hard way. I can show you better than I can tell y'all. Y'all are too trustworthy of Microsoft, or Xbox rather. I said, watch what happens. They went and opened it up, did the new server upgrades. Everybody tested it. Everybody was like, that's trash. They're like, this is trash. This is dog shit. This is trash. And most people haven't been back since. That's Xbox. And before we get out of here, I do want to say this. I don't know what the future holds for Xbox. I don't know. But if Xbox doesn't figure this out, if they don't figure out what direction that they're going to go, or they're going to compete, Because to say what Xbox is going to try next, no one knows. They don't even know. I'm going to tell you what it's going to lead to. If they can't find a direction of whether they're going to, heavily compete with hardware or if they're just going to be everywhere and whatever. If they don't figure this out and do this right, I imagine what's going to happen is Xbox will be no more. It'll be Microsoft Gaming. Maybe Sarah Bond becomes, maybe they keep Sarah and she becomes the head of Microsoft Gaming and they just become a publisher. I don't see them keeping Phil. So they got to figure this out soon. I feel like 2025 and 2026 are going to be pivotal years for Xbox. And if they don't start turning this around, then you're going to start seeing them, Jenna Hayes says, MM2K, you notice on Phil Spencer year in review video. That's what I said. That's what I said, Jenna. That's exactly what I said. He looks so much healthier, like he was eating ham hocks since Thanksgiving. That's because I feel like, well, here's what you're seeing on the screen. This article, this Verge article, I feel like there's factions at Xbox right now. There's the pro Satya Amy Hood faction, that the groundwork is being done by Sarah. And then I feel like there is the Phil Spencer, Matt Booty faction. I feel like that one still wants to compete, that still wants to deceive you, still wants to make you think that they can do shit and give you something comparable to a PlayStation experience. And I feel like somebody from the Phil Spencer, Matt Booty faction came over, said, psst, psst, check this whole fly shit out. And to your point, Jenna, to what I had said earlier, I think Phil started feeling more comfortable because after they rolled this thing out, he may have been like, oh, I'm going to be out of a job. But now he's like, oh, start eating again. He upgraded from the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Now he having them some turkey. That's what I surmise. I don't think it's a coincidence that he's healthy. Yeah. Because the Amy Satya faction is just the pro money faction. It's not an unreasonable position to take, laugh out loud. No, I get it. It's just, here's my problem with it, Cree. You can't just look past the console gamers. Like that advertisement that this is Xbox, it clearly just looks past the console gamers. I mean, it's, yeah, you're part of this too, but yeah, I mean, you're part of it too, right? It just stinks of that. It does not make the console gamer feel like they are, it doesn't give the console gamer their flowers. And I don't care what your strategy is. If you have a certain demographic that is carrying you, then as a business, you are to respect and cherish them. And like I broke down before, as abysmal as the console business is getting, it's not like the PC and the cloud business is picking up the slack. I mean, yeah, PC Game Pass may have grown, but that shit is still $12. Where the Game Pass on the console gets up to $20, has different tiers, but more important than that, here's what the console provides you that the PC experience doesn't. Because ain't nobody buying games on the Windows Store, all right? If they're dealing with the Windows Store version, it's because they're on PC Game Pass. So When I buy a game on a console, 100% of the Xbox game goes to Xbox. 30% of anything else that's purchased on that store goes to Xbox. When I buy a game on Steam, because let's be real here, when we talk about Xbox games on PC, we're talking about Steam. When I buy an Xbox game on Steam, 30% of that goes to Steam, and none of the third-party purchases comes to Xbox. So when you factor in all of the tiers of Xbox Game Pass, whether they're slightly under PC Game Pass or not, because there's talks that PC Game Pass is plateaued, but all the tiers of Xbox Game Pass, plus all of the sales that come via the Xbox console, there's no competition there. Now, if we get to a point where cloud and PC is now bringing in as much revenue as the console or more, then I would understand this. But right now, your console gamer is holding you up. So I agree with you, Creed. Yeah, long term, you want to do this, but there has to be a transition. And they haven't created an appropriate bridge for this transition yet. They could very easily do that. Like, let me tell you something. And hopefully this is what Sarah Bond means when she says this. Hopefully she's still telling the truth. Now she might be onto something if they're doing this, Cree, if they're doing this. If they upgrade their cloud servers and their cloud servers perform as well as PlayStation or GeForce Now, then they're onto something. Will they outperform PlayStation? Nah, because as Microsoft continues, if let's just say if Microsoft does increase their cloud servers and they perform better, and then people are like, oh shit, well maybe I don't need an Xbox console. So the console gamers now go over to, they're happy with being on the cloud. So they'll go get a stream box or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, Microsoft could develop a stream box. They could have Keystone coming out or their version of the NVIDIA Shield. And that could have been the greatest technological leap that Sarah Bond keeps talking about. That could be it. If that's still on the table, then yeah, you have a bridge where you can take not all, but most of your console gamers, bring them to the cloud, and still, you know what I'm saying? And now it would make sense that you're not focused on the console as much, but you haven't done that yet. So you shouldn't be talking like this now. And it feels like they're doing this now because because of the Google thing, right? That's part of it, but also they're trying to make up the slack for the fact that their consoles are falling off, the console sales are falling off the cliff. And now it's just not the time. And you're risking not only they said she's putting her job on the line. Not only is she risking her job, but she's risking the consumer base that's bringing in most of your money. Because when you combine, again, all the tiers, don't forget y'all too, Xbox Game Pass now includes Xbox Live. The Xbox Live, the legacy Xbox Live portion of Game Pass trumps Xbox Game Pass as far as revenue. When it comes to content and services, when Xbox Live was separate from Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Live destroyed Xbox Game Pass. And now that Xbox Live has been scooped into Xbox Game Pass, guess where those numbers went to? They didn't go to the PC Game Pass because there was no Xbox Live on PC. You didn't pay to get online on PC. You pay to get online on console. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to the services part, and it comes to the actual sales. The console is king right now, even for Xbox. You don't just throw that away. That's like, say you want to start selling popcorn at McDonald's. Or no, better yet, now they're selling Krispy Kreme's donuts at McDonald's. Right? And say you really want your Krispy Kreme business to be your main business. You don't start slacking on the quality of your hamburgers, if you can call anything quality at McDonald's, but you don't start slacking on your hamburgers and expect to make it up in sales with donuts. You're McDonald's. You're known for hamburgers. You're Xbox. You're only here competing because of what you've done for console. Don't forget it. And if you want to bring in the next renaissance in gaming, you have to bring something exciting to the table. That's where Sarah Bond is out of her league here. She is not that acclimated to the gaming culture to understand what is something exciting that we could attach to this. That is unless, now this may not be exciting, but what it at least can do is it can at least save a large chunk of their consumer base. Not all of them, but I would even say most of them. If they do upgrade their cloud, capabilities to, so they're abysmal console, people. They're 30 million. I could see 20, 25 million now going to the cloud. It growing maybe to 30, 40 million. I could see that. Because the thing that is going to bring anybody anywhere is the games. You got to have the games. But at least they can maintain their core that's keeping the lights on, still get 30% off of the services because you now made the store digital and via the cloud, and still get 100% of your first party purchases because you still have a storefront on the console, or I mean, you still have a storefront. So. He said Xbox should just acquire Valve and call it a day and just rebrand it. I think what Xbox should do, which I don't think they're going to let them do it. I think they should buy GeForce Now. That's been my argument for Lord knows how long. They should just buy GeForce Now. GeForce Now seems to be having issues as with its consumer base. They put caps on it. It seems like they're having, I don't know. I mean, again, this is just speculative for me. If I'm Xbox, I'm asking, how much do you want for this technology? Can we buy it all? Or I get into some type of partnership with them where Xbox is powered by G. You know what I'm saying? Because if you guys didn't know this, now I don't know if this is still the case. I think it is, but if you guys didn't know this, Booster Roid was powered by GeForce Now technology. It might still be powered by it. They license the technology. They licensed the technology out to Booster Roid. And there was going to be a time, and there might still be a time, where GeForce Now or NVIDIA was going to license the technology off to Tencent. Tencent was at one point in time working on their own version of GeForce Now. Don't know if it's still happening. So yeah, so there's already signs of GeForce licensing off their technology. The question is, will they license it to Xbox? Is this what Sarah Barn was talking about? If so, then they can save a large chunk of their console base, and then it would make sense. But you haven't done that yet. So until you've done it, it doesn't make sense to do this. This is an Xbox thing. Even if you are trying to do it as a de facto battle for the Google store, and then you on Thanksgiving Eve trying to rally up the troops. They learned from their ABK mistake. They learned. They're not doing that no more. Boom, opposite of boomstick. Ain't nobody else doing that shit. Boomstick and pastor. Ain't nobody else going out there. Yep. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to get out of here. Get ready to go into work. It's gonna be a long night.
Wait a second, Moss. Look on.
Look where?
Twitter.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Indiana Jones and the Great Circles. Here it goes. Let me put it up here real quick. Weird is going on with this. Let me copy it. Oh, that is right. Yeah, because has me blocked. You can't copy a tweet even if somebody has you blocked. But here it goes. Tom Warren says Indiana Jones and the Great Circles early access period won't include full ray tracing on PC. If you're paying the $100 early access bundle, then you'll have to wait until the day one patch. Yeah.
Now they do some shady shit even with the premium editions of games.
Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That game is going live tomorrow. Oh no. No, the early access version is going live tomorrow. Right? The 6th. Yeah, it's going live tomorrow. But if you want day one access and you're not getting a $100 pack, you gotta, there's no fucking way I'm paying $100 for Indiana Jones. And when is that review embargo lifting? Is it lifting tomorrow or Monday?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. All right, y'all. We're going to get out of here. Thank you for joining us. We did this at the last minute. I'm glad we did that. But, it's a lifting tonight. Okay, well, I'll be checking that out while I'm at work. Thank y'all very much. But hopefully, I feel like we covered a lot of stuff, and I think we gave y'all a good case on what is likely going on at Microsoft. Again, and time again, I know you guys get sick of us saying I told you so, but too often we'll say stuff to y'all, not because we're trying to spread doom and gloom. We're trying to let you guys know what's going on so you know what to invest in and what not to invest in. Could you imagine feeling this way and investing in Game Pass or thinking that Microsoft is going somewhere only to find out that they're like, well, we're done. We're just going to be a publisher. And then you're not sick because you didn't buy a catalog. You're now fucked. Like Cold Blood and I had a show earlier in the year where we told people, like, even if you don't want to get a PlayStation, like at least invest in a PC. Like I would invest in a PC, buy my third-party games on PC, and then just have Game Pass. I would not buy another Xbox game. I just wouldn't do it. I would only use Game Pass to play Xbox games or whatever else other games are on there that, I can play and finish during the duration of their time on.
Moss.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait. That's kind of unfair, now, don't you think?
Why?
Well, what if there's going to be a great game? We're still going to say, nah, I'm not buying it?
I mean, if they want to buy it, sure. But I wouldn't buy it on an Xbox console. Hell no.
Oh, no. I mean on PC. Nah.
I don't care if the game could jump out of the screen and tickle my nuts. I'm not buying that shit. Hell no. 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 I wouldn't buy it.
Okay. So
they're already
rather be paying for Game Pass, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if, like, for instance, no, like Atomic Heart. I'll give you Atomic Heart Day and Date and Game Pass. I bought it. I knew it looked just like a game that I would be into, and I bought it. So yeah, you could see games and like, no, I want this. I'm buying it. Yeah, you could do that whether it's an Xbox game or not. I'm just saying buy it on PC. Don't buy it out of the Xbox store. because I don't trust it.
Oh yeah, of course you're buying it on Steam. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not the Microsoft store. Fuck no.
Yeah, buy it on Steam. You know, I wouldn't buy it on the Microsoft store. I wouldn't buy it on an Xbox console. I wouldn't trust it. Because it could get to a point. What's gonna happen if Xbox does just bow out of the console or having their own store marketplace? Well, let's put it like that. What if Xbox bows out of their own marketplace? What if they say it's not worth it anymore? You know, what if and the only thing that they keep is the Windows Store? Like, say that's the only thing they keep is the Windows Store. What are you going to do when Microsoft like says, okay, fuck it, we're done with the console now? Where are you going? Just imagine if that were to happen, how fucked you would be. You think they're going to give you all your money back like Stadia? Think again. Decades and decades of games are going to give it back to you? Think again. What do you think is going to happen? You're fucked. Get the PC version of the game, which in all likelihood is not going anywhere. Or get it in Game Pass. If it's just about you experiencing games and playing them, get them in Game Pass. So, all right, everybody, we're out of here. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Till next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.